Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another live on Marlene's How To's. So glad you could join me. And today my husband and I is going to be coming around in a little bit. We're going to be cooking some spicy fish, kind of like we do in Jamaica. It's not escovitch fish, but it is kind of spicy a little bit, very flavorful. We typically have that, like during the season of Lent, Easter, and so on. We tend to have that. We're going to be doing some steamed cabbage again today because that's a really good side that we love to have. And we're also going to be doing he's going to be doing Bammy as well, which is something that we have. There's kind of like a carb, like a side, and it's made from the cassava root, like little white cakes, and then you go in and you make it. So Two Georgia Peaches says, hi, welcome. So glad to see you. So we are cooking today. And my husband's going to be coming over shortly. And if this is your first time here, by the way, my name is Marlene, and this is Marlene's How To's, my home and garden channel. On my live videos, I try to do as much, freestyle and just different things that's in season that people, like or they're talking about, and discuss that with you. On my regular videos, I do just gardening pretty much. I love flowers, so I do that kind of a thing on there. And if you're on here, I see Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee says, hi, Miss Marlene and husband. Hello. And I also see Andrea's kidney transplant live. Hi, that's my sister. Hi, Andrea. How are you doing? Welcome. So we're going to be starting the cooking very shortly. I think he's going to be doing the fish. He's going to be doing most of the work today, actually. And I'll take a look at the chats and see what's going on, what's coming in, and so on. And thank you for those thumbs up, by the way. I can see them. And, just if you've never subscribed and this is your first time here, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell twice so that way you'll never miss an upload. So I do appreciate you being here today. And I'm going to go ahead and just give him a call so he can come around here and get started. So the fish that we're actually cooking today, we're doing salmon. Let me see. She says, great. Andrew's kidney transplant live says, great. Looking forward to it. Neil Chin says, good evening, everyone. Hello. So we're going to be doing salmon. And it's actually sockeyed salmon, which is really, really good for you. A lot of omega-3s and all of that. So my friends who are maybe having fish for this season, or if you're generally like a pescatarian, that's the diet that you have adopted, then this is definitely good for you. So I'm hoping that you'll, find another way to maybe prepare your fish dish if you've never done it this way before. And just to show you what the salmon looks like, that's what he's going to be using right there. And he took the skin off. You can just usually take the scales off of there, and then you go ahead and, some people will take the skin off, which is what he did in this case. So that's what we have going on there. And of course, my cabbage is over here. You can see it. And, we have our spices. I'm going to have our carbs. We already did some pigeon peas. If you know pigeon peas, most people who are from the islands, the Caribbean and other islands like that, Mexican as well, they know about pigeon peas. And that's what we pretty much use to put into our when we do rice and peas, or sometimes but mostly we use like red beans. Most people know red beans when they go to like a Jamaican restaurant, because that's where I'm from. But in some instances, we actually we use the pigeon peas as well. And that's how we call it rice and peas, because it's not just beans that we use. Sometimes if we have like pigeon peas, we call them gungu peas. We'll use that. If we don't have that, and in some instances, we may even use cow peas. We may use even sometimes like broad beans, butter beans, just different things that's available on the island. We'll use those and we'll go ahead. So if my husband could come and join me around here, so we can go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be doing the cabbage, and he's going to go ahead and do the other stuff. So I'm just looking at the comments as well to make sure. So Two Georgia Peaches says, yes, red beans and rice is a staple for me as well. And a lot of people from like Louisiana, on the last live, we had some people on here from Louisiana, and they tend to have a lot of that as well. They tend to have a lot of red beans and rice. They have a lot of rice dishes, dirty rice, so I think they're, and they even confirmed it for me as well, so that a lot of what they eat is very similar to what we have, like in Jamaica and the other islands. And saying that, I do see Juanita McFarlane. Good evening, Pastor McFarlane. Welcome. She says, hi, Marlene and husband, and everyone watching. Pray you all are having a fantastic Saturday. Thank you so much. And everybody is saying hello to you. So we are so far so good. We had some storms this morning that actually from last night, we had a lot of bad storms that were coming through. And then, it got better this morning. And if you saw outside right now, you would never believe that we actually had storms coming through. But it's they're passed, and thank goodness I haven't heard of any fatalities or anything, because there's been a lot of that going on these last couple of days. It's been rough weather all over the country. Hi Lorna, how are you? Hi, welcome. My husband and I, we're cooking today. We're cooking salmon. In Jamaica we typically during the Lent season we tend to have a lot of fish, especially like on Good Friday and so on. But we're not going to escovitch it. We're just going to cook it nice and a little spicy, very flavorful. So we're going to be doing salmon. You already washed them and you took the skin off. Some people eat it with the skin on. We prefer to take the skin off. So he's going to be cooking that for us. So it's going to be a step-by-step showing you exactly how we have it done. So I'm just trying to follow up on the comments as well too here while he's coming around. So Andrew Skinny says, welcome, Lorna. Yes, welcome, my dear. So if you could come over here and start with the, you're going to start with the fish first?
No.
Okay. So what you're gonna be doing? Oh, say hi to them. Let me get out of the way. So he's kind of tall for the camera because we're squeezing in. I think you can see there.
Yeah, I'm going to start with, because of the interest of time, I'm going to start with the items that take longer to cook first. So I'll start with the yams, right? And then while the yam is cooking, I'll peel it and everything, because before we just showed you the cooked product. So this time around, I'm just going to just peel it and boil it, and once that is boiling, then I'll go ahead and I'll start to do the fish. And then once the fish is going, just to keep everything flowing, right, so you don't just sit there watching, then I'll do the fried plantains, and then I'll move into some of the other stuff, so that way things are continually moving along and you're not just sitting there. Okay.
All right. So let me show you the yam, what it looks like. So I don't know if those of you who are from the islands on watching right now, but this is actually yellow yam, and this is a nice piece. So it looks kind of dry right here, but this is how it seals over, once you've cut it and it's been sitting for a while. But no worries, he's gonna go ahead and peel it. Typically I don't, because I have very sensitive skin. So if I do it, I have to wear gloves to do it, honestly. But so he's gonna go ahead and take the skin off. It's kind of like you're peeling a potato in a sense, but it's just that it kind of oozes a little bit. So the oozing that comes off of there, the substance that on it, it can be irritating to some people. But once it's cooked, you don't have to worry about any of that. It's really good to go. And this is my favorite yam, actually, yellow yam. It really is. So you can think of maybe like peeling like a sweet potato, or yams as we call them over here, like at Thanksgiving time or whenever, or regular potato, then it pretty much gets treated in the same way. So he's going to go ahead and peel it, but he's going to have to do it near the water so he can wash it off. So you probably won't get to see all of that, but he's going to go ahead and get that part started. You're going to cut it for them, or?
No,
I'm going to cut it over there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's going to use all of it. He's going to take a piece like of it off.
And then we'll cut down on the sides.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Right. So you can show them like the cabbage, you're doing the cabbage.
Yeah.
And all that.
So he showed you a really big knife, and that's just to slice it, because we're not going to use all of it. So he's going to just take a section off, and it's very expensive too, because how much did you pay for that one? Do you remember?
Right now it's $4 per pound.
Yeah, it's $4 per pound, guys. So it's not cheap. It's kind of like a treat for us. We don't have it like every single day, but as often as we can, especially in this household, because I like it so much. I'll tend to have it, but imagine $4 per pound. That's expensive. And of course, you have to make sure you're choosing the good ones too, because some of them can be, you have to make sure it's not having little spots, under the skin. So you inspect it very carefully for what you're doing there. So he's working on that right now. And I got my cabbage here. Let me show you the size of this, relative to me here. So we just cover from the lighting there. So this is a pretty big one. So typically, like, it's a little blemish right here, but we cut those out. But typically, we have a family of 4. So typically what I will do is I will just use a half of this, because half of this is enough, because it's a side. So, it doesn't need to be a whole lot like that. And you can let me know in the comments, if you typically have cabbage, if you do that kind of a thing. I know the last time, Pastor Juanita, she had said that she normally uses carrots, which I do too, but because that was, it was a St. Patrick's episode that we were doing, or I should say edition, I didn't put it in there, but today I have this washed. It's already washed. So I'm going to be adding it this time to my cabbage. But usually I don't like to put a lot of carrots, because, the color is strong, so it can be a little overpowering sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that. So we have our cabbage here. You can let me know in the comments if you have any special meals that you're preparing for this season right now, or it's just business as usual. We also have some, we call them scallions back home.
Green onions here.
Over here, it's called they call it as the green onions, and this always add that special little spice to the food. So we're gonna go ahead and get that cut. Let me see if I have one of my bigger knives. He's using my bigger knives. I have to try to see if I can get another one.
I can use this one.
And in the meantime, guys, the pot over here, the water is boiling because he's gonna put the yams and whatever else he's putting in there. And like I said, we had the rice. This has been cooked earlier because it takes a little bit longer. So for the interest of time, so I just wanted to show you what it looks like right here. This is the pigeon peas that is in the rice. We're gonna have that as well. It could have to be a whole video by itself to cook rice and peas, especially if you're making it from the like using the coconut, where you have to get it out the shell and have it shredded grated, and then you get the juice out of it, the milk, and then you cook it, like how we do it traditionally back in Jamaica. So that takes a little bit of time. All right, so I have my my knife here. Let me go ahead and get my my colander to put it in there. My colander. So I'm just gonna rest it in there after I shred it. So how did you guys, some of you I know are from this area. How did you guys manage, the Southeast United States? How did you guys manage with the weather, if you experience that? Because it's been at different places all over in the country. It's just a lot of, weird weather going on these days. So I hope everybody, made it out safe. And let me just put it down here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So this is it right here. So I have the half of the cabbage, and I'm going to put away the other half because I don't really need to use up all of that. So this is going to get put away for the next time. You see, you wanted to show them the yam that you're cutting up there?
So pretty much we just cut it right, so the cross section that way, and I cut it in half. And that makes it more manageable and more presentable on the plates.
Yeah,
okay.
Smaller pieces. Okay. But if you cut them too big, you can always let me make sure it's still clear over here. Yeah, if you cut them too big, you can always after you finish cooking it, you can always go ahead and you can
divide it.
Make it smaller after you cook it. Let me see what we're saying here now. So, this Pastor McFarlane says, Apostle said, when dinner is finished, mail him a plate.
Come on over.
I'll see what I can do. He says he is listening while he's eating dinner. We are having Ooh, so that's kind of what we're doing here. Isn't that something? Well, look at that. So she says she is having fish, cabbage, rice. Listen, you got an avocado too. No. This can't be a coincidence. No way. Where is that avocado? We don't have the Florida type one, but we certainly have this one. So he got that today too. I can't have them anymore, unfortunately. For some reason, they don't like me anymore. I eat them and it kind of like, I think I had a bad one time in something, and from my head, it is like it kind of upset me a little bit. So I can have a little guacamole with some lemon juice, but that's probably about it, or a little small piece, which is sad because when my sister and I used to travel to go visit my grandmother in the country, like in the summertime during summer vacation time, she had a pear tree, well, more than one pear tree. And that's when they would come to fruition, right? They would, be a fit at that point. And like every morning you go outside, you maybe see like 2 or 3 pears just lying on the ground. And we would eat them. We have like bulla, that kind of cake. Like this. I've been enjoying these people, the bulla cake. I used to have that with my avocado. Absolutely, So, that was a thing, a thing that we used to like to do a lot. But anyway, I just got to go with it. Maybe one day it will change if I give it a break for a while. Maybe I can go back to having it. So let me show you what the sockeye salmon looks like right here. It's kind of expensive, so we don't buy like a lot, but every now and then, because I don't like to have the ones that are farm raised. I don't like those. But this one, it says, like you say, it says it's wild Alaskan. But like I said, it is pricey. So you only get a couple pieces in there, and they're frozen. And this is what they look like, just so you can see what it looks like right there. And it comes in the individual packaging, and the skin is on there. And then, like I was saying earlier, he goes in and he takes the skin off. Some people just scale it; they don't take the skin off. So anyway, let me take a look at the notes, the comments here. So Stay. Oh, hello, Stay. Welcome, my dear. So glad to see you. To Georgia Peaches says, how do you keep the yam from changing color? Well, that's true because when I was in college, they talk about this reaction. It's called a browning reaction. And it's basically where, certain things like your apples, potatoes, especially potatoes, what else again? Yams, of course, like we're talking about right now, and a few other things. When they've been exposed to the air, it changes color. So what you can do is you can add just a few drops of vinegar in there. You can tell me if you ever do this, anybody in the chat. You just add a few drops of vinegar, and that actually helps to keep it from turning brown. Oh, and the green bananas too, that's a very, very big one. It tends to, get kind of stainy and kind of funny. So if you put a few drops of vinegar in there, then it pretty much takes care of that. So that's so try that to Georgia Peaches and see if that's gonna work for you. So here we have the sockeye salmon, as I was telling you, and it works like a charm. So let me see now. So as Juanita says, we have the same exact avocado. Okay, I got you. Because sometimes the Florida ones aren't always in season, so we just have to go with what we can get. So Stacey says, oh, she's saying hello to Georgia Peaches. She say Andrea's kidney transplant live says, and that's my sister. She says, I use lemon juice. Yes, I think that should work because it's really the acid that's in there. A little bit of it helps to take it away so that doesn't take. Let me see. And Lorna says she also used lemon juice too. Yeah, so something that has a little bit of acid in there, like maybe the vinegar, or like I was saying, the little lemon juice, then that's gonna work and keep it. So to Georgia Peaches, try that. And I guess on the next chat, whatever we're doing, it doesn't matter. You can still tell me if it worked for you or not, and then we will see how that went for you, okay? And he's over here making his way. As I said, he's the main cook tonight.
Okay.
The main cook.
So we'll look for the fish right now.
So you wanted me to, let me just finish shredding the cabbage first. Yes, I can get it out of your way. 2 people in the kitchen. So you guys, do you normally cook by yourself? Or you have company cooking in the kitchen, whether with your kids or your spouse or your mom, if you still live with your parents, or your dad? Because some of the dads like this, my husband right here, they're really, really good cooks. Speaking of dad, you didn't send it. I don't think you sent the link to your mom. Oh, did you? Okay. Because she's back in Jamaica, so she and again, you're not seeing what I'm doing, so let me just tilt the camera down this way a little bit so you can see it. Okay, we have a newcomer here, RCB Maverick. Welcome back to another live. Welcome. I prefer to be an independent chef in my kitchen. Okay, sir. Okay, and that's some people are like that too. They just want to be in their own space. They concentrate better. And for some people, cooking is very relaxing. It's almost like a way of escape in a sense. So they just want to be in there at peace, not have anybody bumping into them or whatever. One thing I'll say, they say sometimes that too many cooks spoil the broth. So that's where I think communication is the key, because, that one time my husband and I, we were cooking and we actually had guests coming over. So that's what made it even worse, because he had put salt on, and it was fish too. He had put salt on the fish already. And I did not know that he had put salt on the fish already. And of course, if there's no black pepper, you don't know that the food is seasoned already. So I went ahead and I also put some more salt on there. And cooking the food is so nice and everything. Oh my goodness. And for some reason, I got one of them that was fine. But our house guest sat there looking at the food. And we were kind of like, what is going on? Why are you not eating the fish? And even his wife said it to him. Why are you not eating the fish, dear? And he didn't say anything. He just said, oh, I just had the smaller one. Because, you had like a big one and a smaller one. And he said he was good with that. And after they left, I was just like, oh, no, I had to tell him that it was a mistake, that we actually, it was a mistake, it was over salted, because, some people are trying to be polite and they don't want to tell you, that's what's going on. So that's why, communication is the key if 2 people are cooking in the kitchen. So that way, you know what is being done. So you don't go and sweeten it twice. You don't want to put salt in there twice and all of that stuff. So let's see what's going on in the chat now. She says, I cook alone with dancing music. Of course, yes. Georgia Peaches says, I cook alone with dancing music. I think cooking should be fun. And I absolutely agree. When you make it fun, it make it easier, because, sometimes it's just like, I have to cook again kind of thing. But if you make it fun and, try like new recipes and stuff like that, I think it goes a really long way. Something is boiling up over here.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. When you're cooking some of these carb foods, you have to, make sure you keep an eye on your pot, because sometimes, just like oatmeal is, sometimes it will get frothy on you and it can boil over and mess up your stove. And that's the next thing again, having to clean the stove when you're finished, because some people, I remember somebody said, like, men don't like to clean the stove. You can tell me your experience with that. They'll wash the dishes and not clean the stove. I won't tell any tales from this house. But that's what they say. They say that men don't like to clean the stove. So of course, you try to find as much instance as you can to not have your stove messed up. All right, so I think we're down to the end here with this cabbage as far as getting the pieces go. I like using my little colander.
Yeah. Also, another thing you can do when you have,
put it back up this way.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is that for cooking carbs, if it's going to boil over a lot, you can basically add a little bit of oil to it, and what happens is that the oil breaks up the the carbs, so it doesn't stick and form a coating on top of the water, and it breaks up the emulsion rather. That's what the word I'm looking for. So it doesn't allow it to boil over as easily. Okay.
Well, that's a new one for me. I haven't really heard that one before, but that's very interesting. I will definitely try that, because some things, they boil over so easily. Because like for oatmeal, for example, oh my goodness. Yeah. My mom always says, as soon as you turn away from the pot, that's when it decides to boil over on you. You could be standing up there watching it the whole time, and as soon as you move off, boom, there you go. It just mess you up like that. So, yep, you can tell me, because I also heard a statement where they say that what they say now, like a watched pot never boils. So it's kind of like, if you're standing there, you're there watching your pot, it never boils over. And as soon as you step away, all of a sudden it starts to cook, take long. And that's how I feel sometimes when I'm cooking fried plantain, because the fried plantain always takes so long to cook. Oh my goodness. All right.
All right, so I'm just going to basically add garlic to the oil, and that's to basically take away the rawness and everything. It also helps, for health purposes, also for your stomach.
Yes, garlic is good for you, and it's, they say time and time again that as far as the garlic goes, it's good for blood pressure too. So it helps you in that way. So let's turn it down a little bit so you can see what he's doing over there.
Okay.
Did you need this out the way?
No.
You're going to use this?
Use it.
Yeah, but I'll let you go ahead with what you're doing there, because I have to shred it.
Okay. Right. So basically right now, what I'm going to do is just flour the fish, right? So I'll just add a little bit of flour.
Did you put salt on it already?
So everything straight. Right,
and that's right, guys. You have the secret ingredient coming up. That's going to make it have that nice flavor.
Okay. So you don't want to waste the flour or anything like that. So just put we have 4 pieces of fish there. So I'll just use 2 of these large spoons.
You make sure you can see what he's doing there.
Right. And then basically you add black pepper. And some garlic powder, not garlic salt, because that's adding too much salt.
Yes.
So use garlic powder, or if you wish, you can just use the grated garlic on there, and let's mix everything together. Right. Sometimes you might use breadcrumbs instead of flour. Just depends on you. All right. And then I'll add the salt directly to the fish. No, because fish is something that takes out salt very easily. Unlike other meats, you basically have to do it very lightly, right? You don't put too much salt on there. So for like 4 pieces or so, which is about 1.5 pounds, you probably want to use like about half teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt, right? And we use the sea salt, which has less sodium in it, so that's better for your blood pressure.
Yeah, it's just better for you on a whole, when you use sea salt. Do any of you guys use sea salt? You can let me know. Or if you just use because some people, they use like the low sodium, like the potassium salt. So I don't know what kind you guys use. You can let us know in the comments.
Okay.
Or if you just use a regular one.
Let's go ahead and flour the fish. Just like that. And one of the reasons why we flour it is basically just to, keep it drier, also hold it together, reduce burning, and also, not to let the oil pop up on you, because when it's wet, that'll happen sometimes. Right. So let's do the same.
Put a lot of oil in there.
Yeah, I'm going to do that, Charlie.
Let me add some oil for you. So is that maybe like about 5 tablespoons? You think?
No, that's like a half cup.
Okay, you think that's enough?
Yeah.
You're the chef today. I'm just helping out. So let me show you while he's mixing those around. These are the peas right here that we use. I was telling you about. They call it, well, this is a brand that the Mexican folks tend to have. We get this from Walmart. But in Jamaica, we call it pigeon peas. Sometimes we call it gungo peas. And it's more common though, like towards the end of the year, like coming on to Christmas and so on, we tend to have a lot more of those. Okay. So we have our flame on low right now, which is a safe way to go.
All right. Now, once everything is floured and the oil is hot enough, I'll go ahead and just add it in there. So let me turn the fire up a little bit. All right.
So he's waiting for the oil to get a little bit warmer, or I should say get hot. You can see what they look like right now. Let me just bring it a little closer for you. So that's what we got there. And I guess if you're doing like your chicken, some people like a fillet or something, you can do it that way just to make it, because it's really trying to prevent you're just trying to prevent for the most part, popping up on you, because you may or may not know that when your food, like when you're frying food and it pops up on you, because of the water that's in there. Like if you have water in your hands and you drop in the hot oil, that's gonna pop up on you. If it's a case where there's water on the meat, when you're putting it in the food, it's gonna pop up on you as well. Sometimes you may even be frying something like dumplings or something and it pops because there's water in the dough and it pops out. So when you coat them with the flour like he did, then it kind of helps with that. And let me show you the little secret ingredient that he has while he's getting that going here, that he puts in it.
You're showing them already?
Well, you're gonna see you put it in there. This is what we use. There are different types, but we use that to put in there. So he's gonna show you in a little bit down the road.
We have the other frying pan. We need that also. All right. So I'm gonna pop these in the oil, and while that's frying, then I'm gonna start frying the bammies.
Then we can hear that gentle sizzle, which I like. So your pot is nice and warm and ready to go, but not too hot because you don't want to, have your food burning. Especially if you have younger ones learning how to cook, it's good to just remind them of that, because sometimes we forget, especially if you're rushing, you might forget.
Okay.
So Children of Peachy says, I use kosher salt, and that is so good for you too. The kosher salt.
Okay.
When you're coming back.
Okay. Now, because this is fish, it cooks very quickly.
Yes.
So we'll give it like about, let's say, 2 minutes or so, right, on a medium flame. And once it's golden brown, then we'll just flip it over. Okay. So it's coming along here. Just throw it a little bit just to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. All right.
So he has 2 pots going over there. I'm just kind of washing off the plate so I don't have too much to wash up at the end.
All right, so the bammies, know what we did is that I cut them in eighths, and then soak it in water and salt and a little bit of vinegar. my mom used to do it where she soaked it in milk.
My mom did that too.
She's the expert, so I'm not going to go there. I'm just sticking with what works for me. All right.
My mom did both. She actually she did, sometimes she would put it in she'd put the salt and water on there, salt water, and sometimes she would use the milk. So either, but I just wanted to show you there are different brands that we use, but this one right here, this is the one that we use. So it comes in a little white cake, and then you cut them up in segments, so that way it's ready. You can hear the pot, the sizzling. I can't show you because we don't want to have any incidents over here.
Right. Pretty much that's it right here. Right.
So it is sizzling. So let me know, guys, if you like washing up the dishes or not, or if you just use your dishwasher all the time. I mean, I don't mind the dishwasher, but for me, my concern is that sometimes, like, I want to use something and it's in the dishwasher. The dishwasher is going for a long time. It's like, I need that thing. I don't want to have to go and stop it and go get it. So if I have a lot of people over, I tend to will maybe use it, when everybody is gone. I'll put some of the stuff in there, but for the most part, we tend to hand wash our plates. So I try to just do them as I go along, so we don't have too many of them piling up on there. So it's starting to smell so good in here already, guys. And do you guys have your fish whole? Do you kind of have yellowtail snapper? And because we just got salmon this time, but sometimes we'll get yellowtail snapper. What's the other one again? Red snapper. Which other one again? Goldfish. That one is very hard to come, but that's actually my favorite. Some people, they may get parrotfish. They'll have that one as well too. So it varies by person. I don't know what might be your favorite fish that you like to have. You can let me know in the comments. So we are cooking here.
And low.
I'm just gonna test it a little bit and see.
Already cooked it.
Oh, did you? Okay. It's light in color. All right. So you guys have any plans coming up for the Easter? Your services? Some people, they call it Resurrection Sunday. People call it different things. We call it Easter. That's how we grew up in Jamaica. We have a lot of bun and cheese, and I showed you that in my last video when we did the shopping, the Caribbean food shopping haul. We had bun in there. We normally have bun and cheese. Tasty is a brand that we use from time to time. So we will have that, and we'll go ahead and enjoy that right over the week, right up into from Sunday right back over until the following Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. We'll have all of that. You can let me know if you have any of those things in the chat. And of course, we always have our little black pepper from time to time to help to spice it up. And we have our Scotch bonnet pepper that we use time and time again. So Pastor Juanita says, Marlene, I am drinking. Oh my goodness. You're really trying to do it to me this day, aren't you? Oh my goodness. She says, I am drinking coconut water. She loves red snapper, porgies. I don't know what that one is. Salmon and whiting. Yes, I've never had whiting, but I've heard of whiting all the time. Is she laughing at me? Oh my goodness. I want some of that coconut water because it's kind of a little warm by the stove over here. So I could use some of your coconut water right now. But red snapper is a favorite for most people. But sometimes what happens is that when the fish comes over here, like in America, sometimes it's not as fresh as you'd want it to be because it's coming from far, so they have to preserve it. And the preservative they put on there, sometimes I don't like it. So when I know it's fresh caught and just coming fresh, I prefer to have it that way. Just depends on your source. But I remember one time my husband, one of his friends went over to the shores in Alabama, and they went deep sea, fish catching, and they bought some fish in. And the one that he gave to us, to our family, that thing probably weighed about 15 pounds. I couldn't believe it. That was the biggest.
Red snapper.
And it was a red snapper. It probably weighed about 15 pounds. I kid you not. I could almost fit my fist into the fish's mouth. That's how big it was. So when I saw it, I said to myself, this fish is probably going to be really, really, really trashy. Kind of when I say trashy, I mean hard and not very tender and moist. And that's what I thought. But unbelievably so, it was one of the most tender fishes that I have ever had. And I am from Jamaica. And we eat a lot of fish there all the time, so you must know. That was off the shores of Alabama. They went out deep and they caught the fish. And that thing, I just can't. Because even like, we cook the fish with the head sometimes. People are, in America, they look at us like, why are you eating fish with the head? With the head on it. They say, I can't eat something that's looking at me, right? So anyway, we cook it often enough with the fish head on there. Or you may just take it and make some soup, like to flavor your soup, water. And then you take it out. So the head was left back, right? And just the head alone, it had so much, like flesh on it. I was just like, man, this fish is something else. We're probably gonna have to, try to get some more of that again because the thing was huge, no joke. So let's see over here now. So hi, Mondale from Johnson Home Decor. She says hi everyone, and she says hi, Miss Marlene and Mark. So she's saying hello to you. So welcome, my dear. Glad to have you. And you're doing some great things on your house, you and your husband. She did a nice spring cleaning video recently, and everything was clean from the top to the bottom. Absolutely was. So that was an excellent job, excellent video. So we're cooking here. So far, we have the salmon going almost finished cooking. I'm not sure if you can hear the sizzle over the live sound. But we're cooking it over there. This is Saturday, so typically a custom for us in the islands. Most times we have Saturday soup. So this big pot that you're seeing, you're probably not looking so big from over there, but it's quite big. And we have our soup in there. So we're gonna have it after we finish this live. And it's just a standard. I like it, especially like when like it having like pollen and it affecting your health, feeling so good and so. This helps to build you up really, really good. It's almost kind of like a they call it a Jewish peninsular chicken soup. Well, for us, we love to have our soup. Chicken, it can be beef. Most times it's chicken, especially on a Saturday. And it's a multi-purpose of the ingredient. I tell you, it's a little secret ingredient. Let me show it to you again. That we use in it. So this is it right here. So this is what we use in most cases. Sometimes we'll have like the pumpkin soup. Different brands have their own thing, but you have the pumpkin soup. You also have if you may want to have fish soup sometimes, it's an option too. You have the goat powder as well, kind of like this, to make it have little noodles in there, and you will see it in a little bit. But yeah, so we use this to make our soup for Saturday, and you're gonna use it in there as well to flavor it. So that's coming up. So like I said, I'm gonna try to keep washing up because I don't like them. My dishes pile, especially when they have meat in there. So I'm working on that right now. So everybody had their dinner already, or we're all having a late dinner today? You can let me know in the comments. I know Pastor Juanita already said that she had her coconut water with her snapper and her and her avocado and all of that. So she is good to go.
Oh, you have the option where you can either take the fish out and drain some of the oil off, or you can just go ahead and add everything in there, right? So for right now, I'm just gonna just take the fish out just to take out some of the oil, and then I'm gonna start adding the other things there. You will see momentarily.
All right. So we are watching. Do you want me to shift it nearer to the stove?
Okay.
Let's get this over here. Keep the paper away from the pot. So you're just easing them out right now. You can see the color there. It's dark enough, but not too dark.
Hot.
Yes,
Super
be careful.
hot.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to use the tongs. I'll just rush it through today. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pour all the excess oil, and then I'm going to go ahead and start adding the other ingredients for it.
All right, so tell us what we have on here again now. So this is how it's looking so far. And though, it's little cracks here and there, but that's how salmon is sometimes. But we have salt in here. So did you put salt in here?
Salt.
You had salt, black pepper, and floured it so it coated.
And garlic powder.
And garlic powder. That's right. So everything is looking good. So that's the skin side right there where the skin was. So they're just kind of over here chilling, waiting for the next step for them. So he's pouring off some of the oil because we don't like to have too much oil in our food. Try to cut back as much as possible. Just for healthy living. Of course, some fats are good for you, like your olive oil, but not too much of that either. And the other good sources that are out there. Okay. All right, so the Bammy is over there cooking good. So Mandela, I don't know if you guys have Bammy in Guyana. I don't know if you have Bammy or not. You can let me know in the comments. If you haven't stepped away for a moment, if you guys have Bammy over there, it's made from cassava, like a little cake. That's how they make it. But then you have to soak it in salt and water or milk. Then after it dries out, then you just go ahead and you fry it or do whatever you want to do. So he's frying some over here for us. Did you need a plate for that?
No.
Are you going to keep them in there? Okay.
They're going to go straight in the pot right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So basically with Bammy, you can do one or two things. Either once it's fried out like this, and it's golden brown. Some people like to have it crispy, right? Others like to have it where it's basically steamed down in a different way, which I'm about to do. So I'm going to leave a few of them out. I'm going to leave 2 of them out that are just fried and crispy. And then the other 6, I'm going to basically put them back in there, all right, along with the fish. All right, so we'll turn this back on. And then what I'll add next is just basically onions. I'll just cut them in rings and add them in there, all right? Give me 1 second.
All right, so we are coming along. Oh, Lorna says hi, Mandel. So do you guys have cassava? Let me show you the pot that it comes in. And you can tell me if you have it in your country. I know Lorna is from Jamaica. Pastor Juanita, if you're still there, I don't know if you have Bammy's in Barbados. But this is the brand that we use right here. And you can see that they cut it, it's like the round white. They look round and white. And you get them and you cut them in segments. The little segment you can see right there. And then you fry them or do whatever you want. I don't know if you guys have those on here. So she said, go ahead, Iron Chefs. We'll see you next on Chopped. I don't know about that part. Because some of them people that are in charge of it, they're a little bit too aggressive, intense for me. I can't handle it. I'm gonna be like, I just need to relax when I'm cooking, take my time and do my thing. I can't. That kind of pressure is too much. It's going to make me feel like I'm in school all over again. Because I did food and nutrition when I was in high school. And, you kind of like had to be on the clock, 30 minutes to do this, and you tidy work here and do this, do that. And they're counting down. It's almost time for it to be over. And I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. Let me just hurry up and be done.
So what I'm going to do is add half of onion, right, cut in rings. And I'll just put these in the oil. And then afterwards, I'll add thyme, pimento, and all the things that go along. So half of an onion.
Are you gonna need this again?
Yeah.
Okay, because I need to shred my carrots.
You can remove it for the time being.
Okay. That's the thing. When you're in the kitchen together, you gotta get you a little space. I need some overlap.
I want a billion island.
Yeah, right, because this house didn't come with an island. Can you imagine that in these times we probably have to get one ourselves? So I'm just shredding this, guys, on the shredder right here. And like I said, I typically don't put a whole bunch of carrots in there because the color is very strong. So I'm probably not going to use all of this one right here. I will use some of it. I remember Pastor Juanita, the last time you said that you normally put carrots in yours. when you do your cabbage. But like I was saying, because that wasn't the St. Patrick's Day, edition, I didn't bother with that. But I could have still done it, But it has that nice, pretty color. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can rest some in here. Just on the top. It's gonna get stirred around once I'm finished. So we'll be good with that. We will be good to go. Get a little piece of the scallion roots. Let's take that out. So, okay, so Deborah is here. She's, hi, Deborah. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, my dear. So good to see you. We are cooking fish. I know you guys cook, you guys call it ceviche as far as I know, the escovite one. That's not the one we're doing this time, which is quite common for Easter for us. But I know you guys cook ceviche too. And I think our brothers and sisters from Mexico, I think they cook ceviche as well. So maybe Spain or something like that, I think. So anyway, he's stirring the onions right now to get them nice and caramelized.
Okay. What I did is I went ahead and I added some pimento in there. I added about 6 or 7.
Let me show them the pimento. So this is the pimento, guys. It's not like the pimento and cheese that we eat over here in America. It's almost like a peppercorn, and that's the brand we use for this one. So you just add a couple of them in there. Some people grind them out. Some people just put them in there whole. Either way, it gets nice, gives a nice flavor to it. So go ahead, sir. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's right.
You were telling them that you're gonna put that in there.
Right. So now it's been added and it's getting caramelized. And we're gonna go ahead and add the fish back in there. And then once I've added the fish, then I'll add a half cup of water.
It's smelling so good in here. Once you put some onions in that pot, you're gonna start smelling it. Did you put this in there? Yep. Okay, I can put it back then.
Go back and add the fish on top of the onions.
So Deborah says, thumbs up. Thank you so much. And she says, I love fish. And Pastor Juanita says, pimentos gives soup a nice flavor. Yes, we pretty much, anything that we're eating that's spicy, we tend to put it in there. So if we're having soup, if we're having fish, chicken, whatever the case, as long as it's something that is spicy, it has meat in it of some type, we're going to go ahead and add it in there.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add half of this, or you can use about a third, and then add half cup of water, and then add it into the pot. Okay. And shake it up because you want to get the noodles and everything mixed together. You don't get everything just all noodles or all of the spice. Okay. It's done. So I'll add half cup of water.
You can show them what it looks like. Just bring it right up to the camera so they can see it.
All right, so that's pretty much it.
They're not seeing it yet. All the way up to here. So it's little noodles in there, little spice and so on that's in there.
All right, so I'll add half cup of water and then I'll add it to the fish.
And that really takes the flavor up a notch. But I know that they let me see. So Deborah says, I will be recording tomorrow for the collaboration. Yay! Looking forward to that, my dear. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do. And I'll talk about that in the meantime, guys. Since he's got that going there, we have a collaboration coming up on Wednesday. There's our timer. We have a collaboration coming up on Wednesday. It's an open collaboration, so anyone that wants to join in can join in. That's a YouTuber. That is, if it's in your niche, because I don't want to take people too much out of their niche, but I kind of overlap depending on what your specialty is. But it's going to be a spring front porch refresh, which basically, we're in the spring season right now. Oh, he added the water, guys. I don't want you to miss that step, so I'll get back to it. So he added the water in with it, and it smells so good in here. So it went right in there, and he's just stirring it in right now. So that was the soup that we used.
So take out another one. Show it to them first. Here you go.
So you kept some of the noodles back because I felt some in that pack. So this is another one right here. So he didn't use all the noodles because it can be a lot. Because when you're putting it in your soup, it's going to be a little bit more. So he took some off, but it's a flavor from it that we actually want. So he's putting it in there to flavor it. So I'm going to get back to the collab now. So Wednesday of this week, it's going to be the Spring Front Porch Refresh collaboration. And it's open, like I was saying. You just need to use the hashtag SpringPorch23, in your title or your somewhere, the top of your description. Hashtag SpringPorch23. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be different things that different channels do. Like me, it's about gardening. So of course, I'm going to be planting some flowers. My sister Andrea from Andrea's Kidney Transplant Life. And oh, by the way, I had an invite video out about this. You can check on my channel under videos afterwards. I had one released yesterday about something else. But that one is an invite. It gives you the details of all the ladies that are going to be involved in it. So we'd love for you to subscribe to their channel if you haven't already. But you don't have to, of course, but it's just, a suggestion. But my sister, she's going to be doing hers, and hers is going to be relating to her experience in kidney transplant and how whatever she's going to be doing helps her to cope and to deal with what she has to deal with. So that's going to be her spin on decorating her spring porch. Or if you have a balcony from an apartment, you can do that as well too. If you have neither, I know you have a front door, so you can maybe like put a nice wreath that it's store bought, or you made one yourself. You can put that on there. If you're someone who does like a clean with me, you can always show us how you clean everything off, like the before, the progress you make, and then when you're finished, what the finished product looks like, and just feature all your stuff that's out there. Because we like spring, we want to enjoy the new season coming in. You can get to be outside more, have a little bit more fun and all of that outside in your living space. So definitely, I look forward to seeing you guys on that one. So she says she'll be getting ready for it. So we're looking forward to that. So Pastor Anita says, thanks for the secret noodles. Yes. So try to let me know. But like like he does, don't put all of the noodles in there. Kind of like shake out some of it, the flavoring and all of that, and leave some of the noodles back. So it's not too many noodles in it, but the flavor, you're going to love it. And so Andrea says, thanks, Marlene. I am so looking forward to sharing. Absolutely. And I can't wait to see everything that you're going to put together there, because I know it's going to be coming from your heart, because that's what your channel really is about. So Deborah says, she says, hi, Andrea. Yes, guys, you can talk to each other on the chat. It's good to have these exchanges, and, it's good to support each other in whatever way. Because sometimes you may figure starting out one way, and then all of a sudden you realize that you have other things in common, other issues and stuff, and you can share on them, you can talk about them, and you'll be surprised. God leads us in different ways to each other, so you just never know where things end up sometimes.
Okay. Now, after about 3 or 4 minutes, right, once it's cooked down, it's going to start to thicken. So you'll go ahead and add another half cup of water. So you add half cup of water to start first. And then once it dries down just a little bit, you add another half cup. And then once that is simmering as it is doing right now, then I'll go ahead and add the Bammies to it. Okay. So if you don't have Bammies, you can use what is known as water crackers. Right.
They have to be tough,
but they have to be hard. So if you use if you
the
Google
Excelsior
and look up for Excelsior, EXC, rest of it, whatever it is, Excelsior water crackers. Right now, the cinnamon version, that's the straight old-fashioned version. You can steam that on there instead of the Bammies if you don't have access to Bammies. All right, and that's a quick way of doing it. So I'll go ahead and add these.
I wanted to show them a picture.
Okay.
You can actually get this on Amazon. This is one of the brands. Let me see if I can get the images on here so I can show you what it looks like, so you can see it. So I'm not sure if you can see it really well, but they're crackers there. They're kind of like hard. They're tough. Some people will sit down and have them with cheese or whatever, but that's what it looks like. So if you don't have Bammies, you can maybe try to put these in there. When it's almost finished cooking, you just put them in there, and it just absorbs a nice chewing, juice that's left in the pot, and it just flavors everything so good. Not everybody likes that kind of like, soft feeling on their food like that. So it just depends on what you like. But we actually love it, so we do it all the time. But sometimes you're doing like brown stew fish, you brown the fish first, and like whether it's a whole, like a snapper or whatever, and then we'll cook it that way, and then we'll add it to it. But we're doing salmon today, just because.
Okay. I'll go ahead and let it simmer for about 3 to 5 minutes on low. And then while that's going, I'm going to start frying the breadfruit. Okay.
Before you do that, though, am I allowed to have my
Yes, you can
my
start,
cabbage?
You can start the cabbage.
Thank
what
you.
I'll put the fish over here so you can have that.
Thank you kindly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my pot out. No, I don't. We don't put I don't put garlic in my
Okay.
in my cabbage. I put a lot of onions in there, which I probably need you to do some more onions for me.
I did half of an onion for you.
Yeah, I need a little bit more.
Okay.
Let me let the pot dry out a little bit first. So guys, what kind of oil do you use? I remember years ago I used the I started using it's sometimes it's just so confusing sometimes. You know, you hear that one thing is okay, and then next thing you know, they tell you it's not okay anymore. Because growing up we used to use coconut oil in Jamaica, which is still good. But now I use vegetable oil. You know why? Because we started having canola oil. Because I said, oh, canola oil, canola oil. So when you just came over here 20 years ago, we started using canola oil, right? Yeah, all of a sudden now they say canola oil is not good for you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. And they say use peanut oil, use this, use that. I'm just like, you know, it can be confusing sometimes, you know. So anyway, we're back to vegetable oil. Whatever brand you like, but that's what we're doing right now. It may change in the future, but that's what we have. And by the way, guys, I recommend that you don't like, if you're frying foods, anything that you're doing that's kind of very high temperature, not to use olive oil, because then it's going to be harmful. You know, you have to kind of like, and that's what Andrea just said. She says, huge fan of Evo, extra virgin olive oil. But with that, like for sautés, it's good. But they're saying if you're going to be like frying something at a very high temperature, it's going to break down the olive oil and make it harmful to your body. So you're better off using it like raw, just like on your salads, or, you know, like to saute something, but not like to deep fry your food with it. So, you know, they may change it again. Who knows? Because like I said, you know, it's been going back and forth as to which oil is the best. But I know for the most part, I haven't heard anything bad about coconut oil. So typically we go for that. So Deborah says, it will be my first time decorating our front door in an apartment building. No worries, my dear. Because my sister, she lives, she's in an apartment, you know, for right now, and she's going to be doing her balcony. So some people do a balcony, some people do a porch, some people do the front door. If you can put maybe like 2 plants on the outside, if not, decorate it and show us, you know, we want to see it and, you know, enjoy your experience and your company. So To Georgia Peaches says, vegetable oil works for me. Yes. And Pastor Juanita says, I started using avocado oil. Okay, I've never tried that one before. And she says it is really healthy and it's good for high temperatures. And that's what we want when we're frying. So is it very pricey though? And does it cost a lot? Because I know they were using the peanut oil. It was a lot more, maybe like about 3 times the price of the vegetable oil. Yes, I don't know. You can let me know in the comments, Pastor Juanita, if the avocado oil, if it's expensive, because I know the peanut oil kind of was. And people love to use peanut oil like at Thanksgiving time when they're frying that whole turkey. You know, they'll fry the turkey and they'll use the peanut oil because it apparently holds up very well to the high temperatures as well. All right, so I think my pot is getting hot over there. I need a little bit more onions afterwards. I'll just go ahead and start with what I have here so far. So I did some oil there. So you can let me know, guys, if you normally have, you know, fish, you know, like during Lent season and during Easter and all of that. You know, let me know what you normally do. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it in there. I want the flame to be low because I don't want it to be fried. I just want it to be, I'm just going to steam it. So that was the cabbage and the carrots. And now I have my onions right here. You can see them. But I use a lot of onions because it flavors it out a lot. You can see it. So I need to get some more. Let me go ahead and add that in there. I'm going to cut some for me. Let me get myself a fork. And we use a lot of
onions.
We use a lot of cabbage too, a lot of cabbage, because cabbage is good for you. I mean, I know that there are some medical conditions where you can't have because of the potassium and all of that, but if you haven't got no warning that you can't have it, I would say go ahead and have your cabbage, unless you don't like it. One of my sons doesn't like it that much. You don't have to put a lot of salt on cabbage, is what I noticed. It doesn't take a lot. And as I always say, it's better to have to add salt back to the pot than have to take out. Because if it's over salted, then what are you gonna do, And because these cabbages are a little bit firm, I tend to just add a little spot of water, as they would say, over the pond. Just a little bit to make sure it doesn't burn and it steams down really nice.
You have
Yes, about a half onion more should do. So we are cooking good here. That black pepper is about to make me sneeze, people. Ugh. Excuse me. Okay, get that hand washed up. All right. We are cooking our cabbage and carrots. So you're just adding some more onions to it for me, because we like to have that flavor.
on the fish. Stir it in.
All right, so we go ahead and stir it around. I like the color it has. And like I said, I don't put too much carrots in there because it can be overpowering. Back home, some people have their cabbage with salted codfish. They saute it with it, and it tastes so good. Some people like their cabbage to have a little bit of crunch on there, but I like when mine is cooked right through.
Okay.
I know it's healthier for you when you have it and it's not, it's a little bit of a crunch, but I prefer when it's cooked all the way through. So you're steaming down good right there. So let me then show you. You're gonna show them the thyme.
So basically, just added a sprig of thyme and another half cup of water, because the Bammy will soak up all of the water, and you want it to have a little bit of gravy in there with the fish. Right, so I added some thyme, one sprig of thyme, and then another half cup of water. So far we've added 1.5 cups of water. One to start, half in the middle, and half coming close to the end.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a peek in the pot. See how we're looking over here. Yes, sir. I wish I could bring it closer, but it's still on the stove, so it's looking good. So let me see now. I'm trying to follow up on the comments here. So so she said it is expensive. Pastor Juanita says the avocado oil is expensive. That's what I was thinking. And unfortunately, most things that are good for you, they charge so much money for it. You know what I mean? It's a shame, but that's even if it doesn't cost more to prepare it because it's good for you. For some reason, they charge you more. So Deborah says, I love my cabbage. Yes. And Andrea says, yes, kidney transplant and dialysis folks have to watch the potassium quite a bit. Yes, so you have to be careful with how you're having that. And Deborah says, oh, yes, Andrea, I always have to be careful when I'm cooking for my daughter. Yes, because Deborah also, her daughter, because my sister is a kidney transplant patient, as you know, and Deborah's daughter is on dialysis. And so, she's kind of in a similar boat in terms of, they have both had the journey with dialysis. So you definitely have to be careful, what you eat in that regard, So we all have something that we, different challenges that we just have to find a way to cope with. So it's almost finished cooking. Look at it, guys. Once you see it start to fall over to the side a little bit, it's coming up really good. I think you can probably see it. That it's kind of like hanging down a little bit there. So we are coming along. And sometimes, because I'm with you guys and I just want to keep active right here with you, I'll keep stirring it. But, you can always, cover it and have it steamed on a little bit without being there. But just make sure you watch it enough so it doesn't burn, because when you have burnt cabbage smell in your house, it's not a nice smell at all. Am I right?
Yeah.
You don't want to have your cabbage burned. It smells so bad.
Right. And about now, it's been like about, I'd say 30 minutes. So the yams are cooked. So I'm going to turn them off.
And that's yellow yam, guys, for those who just came in.
I did not do any dumplings this time.
I know, because the last time everybody was asking, are you guys gonna make some dumplings? And our dumpling is different. You know, our dumpling is a lot thicker than because one time I had like what do you call it now? Chicken and dumplings at I think it was it Cracker? I think it was Cracker Barrel. We had it there. And when it came, it was very different than what I thought it was gonna be. I'm just like, when we say chicken and dumplings, we definitely have something else in mind, not like what they had there. So our dumplings are usually thick, like about this thick, like about that. If it's boiled dumplings, like about that thick. And then, we boil it in water after we make it with the flour and water and salt.
Yeah, it can be.
Oh, that's right. We do have dumplings in the pot. So we can show them what one of them looks like. So that's what our dumpling looks like, kind of like that. That one's a little crooked, but you get the general idea. We love to have that. Like in our soup or, like we're cooking it here with the fish and everything. So, yeah. Man, I wish we could all send you over some of this food because it's going to be so good. And it smells so good inside here. So this started to get a little bit of water in it. So I'm just going to let it, turn it up a little bit so the water can kind of evaporate out. Because you don't want to have, like all the water, the juice running around, when you have it in your plate. So normally I turn it up a little bit and just let it kind of, evaporate out. So that's what I'm doing right here because it's pretty much ready. I like it kind of like it on the edge between soggy and a little bit of crunch.
All right, next, I'm going to basically just do the plantains, green plantains. So let's cut it in half.
Can they see what you're doing there? You have to hold it up for the camera.
Once I cut it in half, right, then I'm just going to just peel it off real easy. All right, so you basically score it down like that, right down the vein. Score it down the vein. And then you just flip one side, flip the other side, do the same thing here. Flip, 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 and then you can just peel it off, just like that. So it makes it a whole lot easier for you, okay?
And some people try to peel it under the faucet, like while the water is running, so that way it kind of come off a little easy and don't mess up your finger, but he's just trying to show you so you can see what he's doing there.
Then I'll cut it in half. And once I cut it in half, I'll fry it. Once it's hard on one side, then I'll flip it over, fry it a little bit, and then I'll press it, right? And then add a little salt to it.
Got a couple little spots on there.
Yeah.
All right, so this is almost dried out here. So Deborah, did you have any storms up on your side of town? Oh, she says, she's hungry. I know, right? Deborah says, hi, Bruce Lee. He says, yo, wish I could have some of that soup. Love soup, yes. And it's so good for you too, All right, so this thing is pushing a little bit of water there, the cabbage that is, so we just have to let it kind of like, dry down a little bit, but don't let it burn. So that's what I'm trying to do. All right, so, okay. In the building, good night, family. Well, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a new person here, so glad to have you. We are cooking, we're cooking salmon in a kind of spicy way. We're cooking salmon in a kind of a spicy way. And we have some steamed cabbage that we're making. And we have rice and peas. And we have a lot of different things going on here, kind of like an island style. So anyway, I turned the stove up a little bit. So all the water that came off of the cabbage, that kind of came out of it, is all gone. So now I'm going to go ahead and cover my pot because we're finished cooking that. So we have our cabbage with a little carrot in there. So he's frying out the plantains. I'm not sure if you can see what he's doing there. I don't want to block him.
All right, so it's like that. So basically, I have the plantain going on medium flame, and while the plantain is going, I have roast breadfruit, right? And what we'll do is that we'll just cut these in half and fry it along with the plantains with a little bit of salt. Okay, and that's just to add a different texture and a different flavor. So I'll go ahead and add salt. I won't add too much salt, just enough just to give a little bit of flavor, right?
And that's one thing that my mom, she always made for us. I used to love it. And I know, Deborah, that in Puerto Rico, you have that too, where you guys fry the green plantain. You know, we press it out. Okay, so he says, it's me, Warren. Oh, hi, welcome. So glad to have you. Okay, I see you. So let's see now. So Deborah says, it's raining here. Is that soup that you made soup today? Okay, well that's good rainy weather food, because we, well, typically in Jamaica, like I was saying earlier, we have soup most Saturdays, so that's a regular thing for us. But when it's raining outside, for sure. So what kind of soup did you have, Deborah? Was it because we have a lot of like chicken soup, we have beef. Sometimes we do like red bean soup. That is so good. Oh my goodness. So we have that sometimes, and fish is kind of lighter. Sometimes we just have like fish before we actually have a meal, a little fish soup, because it's really light, and then you have the meal afterwards. Or if you made fish, like you're cooking fish like we did, like the head and the tail, you can use those, for the stock to make the soup, liquid to flavor it, and then we'll have that before, to kind of like get the gas off and everything, as we say back home, and then you have your regular food with it. So yeah, so he's making the plantains over there, and our little cabbage is ready with the carrots in there. I can't wait for you to see when everything gets plated out, how good it's gonna look. And I wanted to just show you these in the meantime, while he's gonna be working on this. This is the next thing again here. This is called this is breadfruit. That's what it looks. It's almost, it's kind of like bread on a tree, to be honest. And that's why we say you live in some of these tropical countries, it's like you're really in paradise, because everything you need is there. If you can't get bread or flour, you can go pick some of these breadfruit. You can look it up, guys. Breadfruit. So you can either, typically you have, when it's whole, let me see if I can maybe pull it up on my phone, but you can either, if it's green, like mature, you can always boil it in soups, or you can, if it's mature, you can always roast it and then fry it after you roast it, which is what was done with these here. We buy them frozen, the roasted frozen one, and then we fry it in the oil. So he's gonna do that as well, because it has such a nice flavor. And my sons, that's one thing that they do, especially the younger one, because sometimes because they didn't grow up in the islands, they don't like everything that we eat, but there's some things that they really, really like. Well, that is one of them for sure. Well, she says, I love breadfruit with garlic. Okay, yes, when you cook it like that. And you pull up my phone and see if I can, for those who are not sure what the breadfruit looks like. Pull it up on Google so you can see it. They had a feature on it the other day too on one of the channels. I was just like, okay. So let's go to images. And this is what they look like. So I'm probably going to, this is what they look like right here. Oops, where did it go? Oh, there it, oops, it keeps going away, sorry. So they're pretty large, usually like the size of what my cabbage was earlier. I'm not trying to shop, I just want to show them. But anyway, so that's kind of like what they're like there. So they're pretty large. What size of a cantaloupe? Yes, that's a good comparison. Like a cantaloupe, like kind of like that size, and it has a green skin on the outside, a little bit rough. And then when it is mature, you peel the skin off. But usually they're roasted first, and then you peel the skin off, and you can cut it in segments. Like you probably can see what the inside looks like on the, what is that, the left, your left, I think. But you roast it, and then you peel it, and then you boil, you bake it. What am I saying? First you roast it, then you peel it, and you can fry it. You can just have it baked and just have it like that. Either way, it is absolutely delicious. And I don't think this one is an acquired taste either. I think that one, once you try it, you definitely will like it. So let's see now. So Deborah said, I love breadfruit with garlic And Warren says, I reaped a bunch of plantains today, guys. Over 30 on it. Wow. That is awesome. We'll try not to be jealous, okay? So were they green or were they ripe, or did you have like a mixture, like different types? Because I know that, plantains and bananas, they only bear one bunch. And then after it bears the one bunch and the plant dies, right? So plantains usually, because they're bigger, as he showed you earlier what it looks like, usually there are less of them on the plant because, of course, the weight is going to weigh the tree down. And it's bananas and plantains are the largest herb in the world because it has no woody tissue. So it's bearing all of this weight and there is no wood in it, right? So for the plantains, it's going to have less of those, so you can bear it. But with the bananas, it's going to have a lot more of those. So when I did a video in the past about tropical fruits and trees of Jamaica, so you can always check it out if you like in that video, but I'm showing you them when they're on like a bunch on the tree, so you can see what it looks like. For those on the chat who might not be aware of what it looks like, because you just basically see like a hand, as we call it, of bananas in the store, like this one here. Let me show you. This one is looking kind of funny. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but you typically see like a hand, because we call this a finger. That's a finger right there. And then we call this a hand, and you have several hands attached around the bunch, so it hangs down like that. So anyway, you got 30 plantains. I was having from a couple of trees, but that is really, really good. That's very impressive. Very, very impressive. Okay. So he's putting the breadfruits in the pot right now. So those are coming along. So we have almost everything now. We have our steamed cabbage with the carrots in there. We have our pigeon peas, rice and peas. We have the yams in there. And we have the fish over there, the steamed fish with the bammy in it. So we're coming along quite nicely.
I'm showing the planting.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it has a salt on there, like you were saying earlier. So it's already seasoned. So there's nothing else that you need to do. Maybe just to kind of like, put a little bit, get some of the oil out from there. I typically do that. So let me just show you what it looks like right here. This is what our fried plantain looks like. And this is the one that was green. You can hear how tough it is. Because most times when you buy stuff from the Jamaican store, they are actually, you get the sweet, sticky plantains when it's fully ripened. But, we like to have it when it's a green one. We like to have that as well, too. And it's basically, it may come out of necessity. People say, you know what, the plantains aren't ripe, but I need something to eat. So they go ahead and they pick it when it's green and find a way to make it nice by adding some salt. And as Deborah says, they put garlic on there, too. So, so that's cool. So he says, Warren says, fully fit. Oh, nice. So he says, no, sis, just one. What? Oh, my goodness. So Pastor Juanita says, Marlene, do you like chicken feet? Well, let's just say it's not my favorite type of soup to go to, but I do have it on occasion. What I like about those things is that, they have a lot of collagen in them, so especially as a, woman, because we talked about perimenopause in that video a couple of weeks ago about some of the things that happen to us as we're going through the change, as they call it, right? And your body is losing collagen because of the change in your hormones. So things that have collagen in there. So like when you eat like your cow feet, because I like that. Cow feet with broad beans, or usually butter beans. Cow feet with butter beans. And I had a Korean friend too at work. She doesn't work there anymore, but they have it in Korea too. They make a soup with the cow feet. And I was just like, okay, that's good to know. And they too, surprisingly, Koreans have a lot in their culture, not the language or the way they look for the most part, but a lot of what they eat is kind of similar to what we have in Jamaica as well. So I've known a couple of them through work, but that's what she said, that they have the soup, they have the cow soup, but she said it is so good. They have everything just cooked all the way off. So it's not even left on the bone when they're done. And it's nice and thick. But yeah, so the chicken feet is kind of similar to the cow feet because, they said it's not really flesh that's in there. It's basically, all of the collagen, the connective tissues and all of that. That's what's kind of in there. So
it's good for you.
It is really good for you. It is an acquired taste. Not everybody gonna like it. Some people may never ever like it, but it just depends. It's worth a try. Put it along the side and see. If you don't like it, you don't have to have it again. If you like it, then definitely go for it. So she's smiling. So Andrea says, "Hi Warren, 30 on the bunch." Yes, that's a lot. That is, man. I hope you took some pictures of that so we can get to see it. I hope you took some pictures so we can get to see it. So everything is nice and warm, and that's the thing. When you have your food cooked on the stove, it keeps warm for a longer time. You put them in the microwave. As you take them out, in no time, they're not hot anymore. And Pastor Juanita, I know that you love to have your food. She says she like to have her steam coming off. That's me too. If the food is not have the steam coming off, I'm gonna warm it up again. But then you cook your food on the stove, it lasts for such a longer time, So that is nice. So I think we kind of we're getting close to everything being ready for us. Was there anything else, or is that everything?
So the next part of it is going to be the plating and the presentation of that. So just bear with me 1 second while I get a few items. Okay.
Yes, because he likes to make his food. The presentation, he liked to have it very fancy, and we didn't end up using our scallions, but no worries. We have a lot of onions and everything else in there that this fish needed to spice it up. So I'm gonna move these away from here and put them back where they came from and just start to clear off some stuff. Because again, guys, I try to just wash up the dishes as I go along. So all right, tell them what you're doing next.
Okay. So basically with a carrot, I'm gonna basically make it into like a spaghetti format.
Can you tell them what that is that you're using there? The instrument there, what do you call it?
Look,
you don't know?
I don't know what they call this thing, man.
But show them what it looks like inside so they can see.
Basically what it is just like a corkscrew, and it has teeth in there like that, right? I'm sure you can see the teeth on it or not, but if you look at it from the side this way, you'll probably see the teeth in there, right? Close up like that. So when you use it like a corkscrew, it brings it out so it looks like spaghetti. And so pretty much what I'm doing is going to twist it in there like that, and it's going to come out like spaghetti, and I'll use that basically as part of the decoration to present it. So pretty much that's all I'm going to do, just twist it in there like that. As I twist, you can see it's coming out like that, like spaghetti.
Yes, that looks pretty.
And I'll use that as part of the presentation.
You remember where you got that to buy? Where did you get that to buy? You remember?
I bought it at Aldi.
Oh, Aldi, yeah. Aldi got some good stuff sometimes, But the only thing with Aldi is that, it's not there forever and ever. So you may go and you get them like in the space of a month or two, and then it's like all of a sudden it's not there anymore. You just kind of like while stocks last. I'm not sure how they get their products, but that's what I noticed. Like, you can get something there, but if you see that you like it, you better get it because you may go back and it's not available anymore.
Okay. So I'm going to stop there. And pretty much what you have
that should be enough. Yeah, that looks really pretty. Like it looks almost like when you use a potato peeler to peel something, but of course, because the carrot is so so narrow, it probably wouldn't work for that. But it looks really good, I think. So I'm not sure, guys, what he's coming up with next, but he always doing all of these things. Let me take a look and see. So, oh, hi, Cheryl. Welcome. So glad to see you, my dear. Welcome. She says, make the salads look real attractive. Yes, thank you so much. I hope I didn't miss any comments. Let me go back. Oh, so he says, hi, Terry. Yes, my food has to be hot. Yes, that's me right there, madam. And Georgia Peachy says, I need this in my life. Yes, and it's so easy to use. You just stick it in there and turn it, and you're good to go. And she's Cheryl says, makes the salads look real attractive. And Mondale from Johnson Home Decor says, me too, to Georgia Peaches. And Pastor Juanita says, you taste with your eyes first. That's true, because when something looks, decent. And for those of us who make videos on YouTube, they talk about your thumbnails all the time, right? just talking a little shop, guys. Just bear with me, okay? But basically, the thumbnail is basically what the person is going to look at the picture that's going to say your video is coming. And if it's not looking, nice enough to them, they're not going to click on it. So you could have the best video in the world. But if the thumbnail isn't attractive to a certain degree, unless they know you, they already know you, and they say, okay, she usually does this or that, so let me go take a look. But if the thumbnail isn't pretty, then most times they don't bother to click. They just scroll on and they go to the next person, right? So it's kind of similar in a sense. You want it to be pleasing to your eye, and then you're going to try it. On rare occasions, something can look really, really nice, and it's not, because I've had food, it looked good in the plate, but it was undercooked. So if it's undercooked, no matter how good it looks, I'm just kind of like, okay, you get an A for a presentation, but in terms of the actual taste, it didn't work out for me. You know what I mean? So definitely, you taste with your eyes first. I absolutely agree with that. And Andrea says, hi, Cheryl. And Ward says, nice tool, Neil. I need one. Yes. So again, you got it from Aldi. Let me just type the name in here. I don't know if they're going to be available because we had that for so many years.
You can Google it and see what it is.
Yeah, maybe. And we don't even, you said you don't remember the name of it either. So I don't even know what to tell you. But all I know is that it works. It works really well because, when you shred stuff, it's kind of like, it's too small. Sometimes you want it to be a little bit larger for what you're doing. And this works in very perfectly there. All right. So the breadfruits are off. So I'm going to go ahead and put them over here. So we're just getting everything together now. So do you guys ever get breadfruit? That's the one thing though, like when you go to Jamaica, you can bring it up because once it's cooked, they don't give you any problems with it at customs. So you can always get somebody to roast one for you and then you bring it up and then you eat it. Don't make it stay for too long because it will spoil. If you don't fridge it and eat it quickly.
Okay.
All right, so we're coming along, guys. So we have our breadfruit, and we have our plantains, and we have 2 fried Bammy, just 2 little pieces there because one of my sons, he prefers his Bammy to be fried. He likes that crunch on it, so we have to make sure that we're catering to everybody, in there. So I just want to make sure I'm seeing everything here. So Deborah says, don't forget to give her a thumbs up. Yes, I just love when these ladies push for me, because you can slide off the live chat a little bit and just hit not the video itself, but just slide off and just give me a thumbs up because it helps to push your video out. Because honestly, most of my views that I get, they come in after the live has ended. They go back in afterward because it gets pushed out by YouTube to people they figure might want to see it. And so when they see the thumbs up or the interactions, and it kind of helps it to go out further. So thank you so much for that timely reminder, Deborah. I appreciate you so much. She's such a good sister. And she said from another mister. She told me that on a live couple of months ago. So I'm saying that back now. So Cheryl says, hi, Andrea. When is your day in the kitchen? I'm sure you have some interesting meals. Well, she actually did one on her channel the other day. She did like a quinoa salad. It's not very very common. Like a lot of people eat it. So, but she'll be doing more stuff that is more, well-known and stuff. So, she's coming on up. So guys, be sure to support her, Andrea's Kidney Transplant Live. New channel coming on up. And she gives her story, to help others. But it's also a lifestyle channel. So she'll be showing you, things that she eats, things she's does to relax. Just different things, medication she takes and how to put certain plans in place to make the whole process a little bit easier. And just, knowledge so that because they say knowing is half the battle, right? When you kind of know how to deal with the situation. So she says, I can't wait to watch your live talking about kidney challenges and how to eat healthy. And that does come in a while. Your channel has to be a certain size before they allow you to do live. So share her videos, guys. Help her to get some more subscribers so she can get to the point where she can get to do live videos as well. Or she may just be a guest host on here and she could show you on my channel until she gets to that point. So she says, yes, Cheryl, sometimes I really enjoy going vegetarian or vegan for a while. The options are so much more now. And that is true. Yes. And Andrea says, yes, she did put her channel handle on here at Andrea's Kidney Transplant Live. So that's there. So show her some love when you get a chance, guys. So, all right. So we have these here. So now he's just getting the stuff together to make it pretty. You want to show them what you have so far? It is so pretty over here. I'm trying to figure out how you're gonna put the food on this plate. Look at it, guys.
So basically, I made a pattern with the melon, and then I just cut these. Normally, I'd make some flowers or something like that, but I'm just trying to, in the interest of time, just do it this simpler way. Okay. All right, so just give me a second. I'll do the presentation.
I want to see how he's gonna fit all of this food, with all of that decor, the garnish as they call it, along with the food on the plate. So we'll wait to see how that goes. Let me see what's going on in the chat here. So Cheryl says, I could eat now. Tried cooking fish and gungo. Yeah, and that's what I say. We call the pigeon peas gungo peas sometimes. So gungo rice and peas a couple of nights ago. The gas ran out in the oh no, I'm so sorry. Well, there's always tomorrow. She said, you say pigeon the way we say gungo. Yes. So that is it right there. So I hope you get to have some this weekend, because that's a regular thing in the islands for the most part. We like to have rice and beans, rice and peas. How we cook it, we cook it down with the coconut milk, and we have it as a main part. And we do have some of that here tonight, which he's sharing that out right now as I speak. So we'll get to see all of it. So you guys that are still in Jamaica right now, what is the most popular place to visit down there that you would say is very trendy right now down there for people to visit? Cheryl, maybe you could tell me, or Warren. Let me see who else might be down here from. Well, some people are on the chat, but I can't. They're not on the chatting itself. So I don't know who they are specifically. But those of you that are from living down there, so what are some of the the more trendy places to visit, like to have a good time? Good time within reason. In the islands. You can let us know in the chat if you are able to do so. So he's going ahead and plating everything down there. This looks so good. I almost feel like I would eat some of it just the way it is right here. It kind of looks very tempting, All right. So you still have the opportunity to give me a thumbs up if you would like to. And if this is your first time on here, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell. Like I was saying before, my channel is mainly about gardening, my regular videos, but on my live videos, I try to, make it as creative as possible. So whatever is in season, topical wise, I'll try to cover that, because when International Women's Day was coming up the week before that, I did about women's health and perimenopause. We had a Valentine's special with my husband. We talked about, having a successful relationship. So these are still there. So if you tap on my channel icon, when you get off here, you can go to the tab that says live, and you can see all of those. Some of them you don't have to watch. You can just listen to them, because we're discussing things. And we love the interaction that like we have here tonight, because we learn from each other. I don't know everything. My husband don't know everything. None of us knows everything. So I like, my brain is kind of like a sponge sometimes. I like to get information. And honestly, when I learn stuff, if I figure I can break it down to help you to understand it better, then I will do it, especially like in a gardening realm, because, that's kind of like my background, even though I don't work in the field, but that's what I studied in college. So, I try to put information out to help people, in whatever way I can. So that's as far as it goes. Those videos are available. We had this corned beef and cabbage special, Jamaican style corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day. So that we had that one too. Just different things, Thanksgiving, taking the stress out of Thanksgiving, different ones for Christmas, gift ideas, So I do them based on what's happening around us, in the hopes that it helps somebody in the season that they're in. But the one thing about YouTube is that if your content is evergreen, meaning that is something that will it's not like specifically trending and just for right now. If it's evergreen, a year may go by and people watch it. I have videos that are still being watched right now, quite a few of them, and they're maybe like 3 years old. People still go and they watch them and they get good views. So, I just try to do what I can in terms of reaching out. So let me see now. So he says the options are endless. Yes. We have become a virtual food mecca. Yes, absolutely. So we're getting it together over there. So fancy and pretty. I hope you guys ate already. I always say I try not to eat in front of you. Last week when I was presenting and I made the cherry flavored milk, I did eat in front of you guys. I try not to, but I was kind of thirsty and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and have some of the I'm gonna have some of the cherry flavored milk. It was almond milk, the reduced sugar one, with some of the cherry flavored syrup. And I was kind of thirsty, so I drank that. But I try not to eat in front of you guys because, especially if you're hungry right now,
It's not fair.
Because I can't send you some. So let's get that part out.
It's part of it.
Oh, he wants to have the thyme on there. So guys, this is it right here. Let me turn it down so you can see everything that's in here. You get a good angle. So see, he has the watermelon and it's not cut all the way through. It's just kind of like cut about halfway. Instead, it has that nice fan shape that we like. And this is the breadfruit right here. We have the pineapple right there, and all these are gonna get eaten. And just to show you right here, what I said about the Bammy, it kind of has that stickiness to it. See that right there? But not everybody likes it. So like for one of our sons, we would give him the one. It's not over here anymore, but the one that's fried and it's kind of crunchy. And then here now, guys, that is the fish right there. Doesn't that look good? Make sure you can see it.
This is the Bammy that's fried. Right, stuff like that.
Yeah, so this is a Bammy right here. So if you like to have it crunchy, and fried, and you would just put that in here. And I'll just stick one right here as well too. Why not? So that's, and you put the thyme on there. So the thyme is still in there on the fish. Doesn't that look good? I am so ready to eat. Oh my goodness. And you know what I always like? We were talking last week, so when we were doing the shopping hall and the island foods that we normally eat, we talked about Gloria's, and we talked about Jollies over in Portmore. You know how good the food was over there and how they would decorate the food, they would garnish it. And that is what we absolutely love. We like when our food, like she said, you taste with your eyes. So we want to make sure that the food is very, looking appetizing and everything. So, he did it right there. And I forgot to mention that we have the fried plantains as well right here. So that's a green fried plantain right there, looking so good. Oh my goodness. Put everything in there. So now we're just trying to get something to drink to kind of wash it all down. So let me go ahead and see what we're saying here now. So let's see. So Cheryl says 10 thumbs up there. It's nice when the men throw it down in the kitchen. Oh yes, absolutely. And she's giving you a nice I should say a big ups, as we say. So she says you did a good job right there. Deborah says absolutely delicious. Cheryl says woo. Pastor Juanita says wow, beautiful, and I am sure it's delicious. Yes, we're gonna enjoy that food tonight. So I'm hoping that you get little ideas from it, and the secret ingredient which we did mention earlier. Let me just show you again for those who came in afterwards. Is this helps to give it such a nice flavor, when you're cooking down the fish and the fish and the Bammy together. You take out some of the noodles so you don't have too many in there, but for the most part you put most of what's in the pack in there, so this flavors it really, really nice. So that's a good flavor right there. So let's see now. So he's coming with what we're drinking. I'm gonna see what that is gonna be in just a minute. But let's see. Deborah says bon appetit, sister. Absolutely. And Warren says it's still on. Okay. Ocean Boulevard. Oh, so Ocean Boulevard has been trending with Prentice downtown Kingston on the waterfront. So what are they doing there? Are they doing like fish dishes like this? Because those places were specifically for fish, as far as I remember, Gloria's and Jollies. And when they decorate that plate for you, it's kind of like this, you see everything nicely put together, all the colors. And last week, Neil Price was on here. He was saying that the one thing about when you go over to Jollies and Gloria's that you have to wait for a really long time with your food. And I said, the reason for that is because it's fresh cooked food. You know what I mean? So they are going to go ahead and get the feed. You tell them what kind you want. They have the fresh fish there. It's not frozen or anything. It's in the fridge waiting. And they just go in and they cook it to order for you. So it's nice and fresh, catch of the day or whatever. The ocean is right there. So they can just get it and come right in on the boat. No long preservation or anything anywhere else. So it's going to be good to go for you there. So you kind of have to wait until they put everything together. But believe me, when you go to those two places, it is worth the wait. If you ever visit Jamaica and, you're near to Kingston, with a tour guide, you can always, like try out some of those places. Like I always say, travel with a tour guide, somebody who knows the area that's recommended. So that way, that everything will be okay when you're down there. So here's a drink, very fancy schmancy.
It's guava.
Did you have, was the guava in a can or did you blend it? Oh, so he says it's guava. So this is guava right here. You can see it.
You can put it down a little bit.
So we need to stir it around. And I always take a sip. I don't eat, but I will take a sip because, you know, when you're talking a lot, sometimes you get thirsty. But this is it right here. So it has guava. And what else is in there?
It's guava, straight guava.
Oh, so it's guava and he blended it out and put a little sugar in there. Did you put some limes in there?
Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. Okay, it doesn't even need any, honestly. And this one is a white gut guava because you have two different types of guava. You have the one that we call white gut that looks more white on the inside, more like a cream color, like a pale yellow. And the other one we call it red gut. It kind of like, you know, kind of more, a little bit lighter than this color right here, but it's kind of like that kind of almost like a salmon color on the inside. So this one looks like it was the
White gut.
the one we call white gut, the white gut one. So yeah. So we're ready for dinner. I'm guessing he wants to have a sip too. So let's see now. So he says, yup, Glorious is now downtown. Oh, so they moved Glorious. So did they move from over Port Royal? Or is it they have two different locations now? So she says, Marlene, hold the plate to the camera again. I need to take, she says she need to take a picture, but of course, I certainly will. I'm trying to find a good angle for you though. Is this good? Can you see everything? I'll hold it this way and I'll turn it the other way for you as well, whichever angle you prefer. So I hope you got the picture. And I can pose with it too. And we should pose together because it's not, he did most of the cooking. So you can come right here so she can see it. If you could stoop a little bit so she can be in there. So that's the food right here. If you can see it, I'm trying to hold it up so you can see it.
Just hold it down a little bit from the lighting.
Okay. Can you see everything? It's the angle.
All right, let me do it this way.
But you're not gonna be in it. I was hoping you'd be in there. Okay.
I'll be there.
No, you won't.
Make sure the lighting is fine.
Yeah. The lighting is a little rough because it's overhead right here. So I'm sorry about that. I hope you got your picture though.
All right, back it up a little bit. Just right there. No. Down.
We tried. It's okay. I hope you got a picture. It's okay.
All right. Yeah.
It's all good. Yes. And what I could do it probably wouldn't work here, but maybe at some other point I can just take a picture and show you.
Take a picture of it. And
if I don't eat it all first.
I'm gonna take a picture of it. Just put it in the short for you.
It probably should come here. Yeah, I could probably do that. Like just do a short of the food, put it in there if I get a chance to catch it under. So that's it right there.
You can see it right there. Good.
All right. So let's see now. She says, but you said I'm eating in my mind. Somebody says, he says Glorious is also in Ochi. Oh, so they're going all over the place. Okay, so there's 3 of them now. And Cheryl says, I usually love having fish straight from the sea to the plate. Yes. That's a blessing when you're on an island because you never have to go too far. When you're, in a large country, sometimes it takes a while for the food to get to you and it's not, as fresh caught. But you said absolutely beautiful. I got it. Thanks. Okay, great. I'm glad you did. Yes, guys. So again, be sure to give me that thumbs up before you head on out if you haven't already. And we have like I said, we have the collaboration coming up on Wednesday. It's a spring porch refresh. A couple of ladies going to be involved. It should be 9 of us. Hopefully everybody shows up because, people have things going on in their lives and sometimes they don't always get to, to come through as they would want to. So, but there's supposed to be 9 of us and we're going to be doing different things based on our niche, to decorate our front porch, our front door, our balcony, as the case may be. So be sure to check them out. My past videos are there. Yesterday I showed a dollar store haul, with all the little things you can get to start your garden, on a budget. I don't buy everything from there, but some of these things that I showed you, definitely worth your time to look into them. And the one before that was the invite video for the collab on next on Wednesday. So we look forward to seeing you guys. I hope that you got, he said one more thing. What else you got? Oh, he forgot the yam, but it's okay. He forgot the yam. We have so much food in this plate.
There you go. There you go, man.
So I guess it's really complete now. So he put some broccoli in there and he put yam as well. Of course, I can't eat all of that by myself. I can't have all of that by myself. I'm going to have to split this up a little bit. But yes, delicious, guys. So anyway, It was really fun having you. Oh, Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany, you just got here. Tiffany says, hey, I just wanted to pop in and say hi. The food looks great. Well, Tiffany, you can always go back and you can watch the replay so that way you can get to see, step by step how we did it. Plus, it helps my channel out when you go and you watch a full video. It definitely helps. And again, guys, be sure to check out my sister's channel. We have Deborah Cabas on here. She does like tablescapes. Excellent job. And she does Fit for Life too on Sundays. And Andrea, she's giving you her journey to help, those who you may know, and just to live a healthy life, even for someone who doesn't have that situation, that they have to deal with. You may have a relative or a friend, you could tell them. Pastor Juanita, they are at Rock of Faith. They're a faith-based channel. Very good Bible study on a Wednesday. Excellent preaching on a Saturday. So that's them right there. And we have Johnson. I think she may have left. Johnson, Mondale from Johnson Home Decor. And we had Lorna as well from Lorna. She does decorating. She's from Jamaica as well too. So a couple ladies there, and Stace was here earlier as well too. So all these wonderful ladies that stopped in. I know everybody can't stay for the whole time, but for as long as you can, we certainly enjoy having you. So we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye. All right. We're stooping down so you can see us. So goodbye. Have a wonderful evening, guys, and thanks so much for joining us. And we hope to see you on the next live. Take care and have a happy Easter Resurrection Sunday. And we'll see you the next time. Okay? Take care and thanks so much for staying with us today. Bye.